Hello, friends. I am Jen Hoffman from healthymoving.com. I am so excited to meet with you tonight and to have a chance to have a little bit of live interactive Q&A. It is that wonderful time of January where we're a couple weeks into the new year, and maybe you had some goals or intentions for this year, and hopefully you're still on track and you're doing great. And if you are, then this is still for you because you're probably going to encounter some resistance down the line. So watch and ask me your questions and prepare for how you're going to handle it with that resistance. But I also wanted to speak tonight to anyone who was feeling like they've given up on some kind of goal or given up on their ability to achieve a particular outcome. And of course, I'm a health and wellness person, so we're going to talk about this in the context of health and wellness, but this is really a mindset for change that I want to help you put in place tonight. And that can apply to any kind of change that you're making. I hear from the people in my coaching and challenge program all the time that this work that they do on their mindset and on their body impacts every other area of their life. And so this is not just important for your physical health and wellness. So if you have a goal or you have a desire to effect some kind of change in your life around something that doesn't have to do with your health and wellness, that's okay too. Okay, so I want to give everyone a chance to kind of come on live. If you're watching live, I would love for you to comment in the comments. I believe I can see your comments. Comment, tell me where you're watching from. And if you're watching and you're willing to share a goal that you are either working on right now or one that you've just kind of given up on, some kind of area that you've thought for a while or worked for a while at changing, but you just weren't able to make it happen for whatever reason. I have some thoughts about why that might have been. And spoiler alert, it isn't because there's something wrong with you or because you lack willpower or determination or any of that kind of stuff. Terry posted a comment ahead of time, and it's a great thing to kind of kick us off that really will help set the framework for this. Before I get to Terry's, though, let me say, a lot of times I am a movement expert or a movement the area of physical movement and exercise is one of the huge sciences that I study, and that I bring to people as a personal trainer and a yoga teacher. But I've been doing this for a long time, 15 plus years, and I have worked with over 10,000 students have come through my programs, and I'm a retired at the age of 40. I used to be in my former life a public accountant. So I'm a numbers person, and I have a lot of data to back up this statement that if you try to do a new exercise program and you bring your existing mindset to that program, you don't do anything to change your mindset, then you are not probably going to stick with it. We have to change how we're thinking. This is how I like to explain it to you in a way that you can really relate to, and I know you've had an experience with this. Have you ever been trying to solve a problem or tackle a situation and you come to it later? Hi, Tammy. She's watching from Texas. Hi, Julie. I'm so glad that you're here. Have you ever been trying to solve a problem? Fitness, like any kind of problem in your life. And when you step away from the problem, when you say, I got to walk away, you are away, you're not working the problem. You're working on something else. You're doing something else in your life. And then all of a sudden, the solution comes to you. The reason that you have like an aha moment when you're not doing that, the reason that happens is that you have a perspective shift. When we're in it, when we're kind of so focused on the thing, we lose perspective and we need some distance. We need to step out. That's really what I'm talking about with respect to our mindset and how we approach exercise and anything else where we're trying to make change. Because so often what I see people doing is trying a new technique. And so they sign up for a new kind of class that they haven't done before. And this is so common in our world, right? How many exercise fads are there that are popular for a few years and don't have a lot of staying power because people try them for a while and then fall away and life happens, they get injured, whatever, they fall away from it. My belief and how I've structured my work is that you might need a shift in your technique of how you're exercising or how you're practicing physically. That might be needed. But what is 100% essential, and I can guarantee you need, is a shift in your mindset. Your thoughts and your beliefs, they're kind of like your operating system and that runs on your computer. It's happening in the background at a subconscious level, and those thoughts and beliefs are informing your actions. If you don't change the thoughts and beliefs, your actions won't change. You might stick with that new fad exercise program for a little while, but then you fall away because you didn't do anything to change the underlying programming. So the question that was posed ahead of time was like, why? Why don't I stick to even the simplest goal? And I love that, Terry Jo, I love that you said, I think I need hypnosis, because you get that there's something going on up in your head that's subconscious, that you're not consciously making a decision. It's like the programming up there is just making it happen without you really having a choice. So sometimes I get pushback from people who are like, I like the exercises. Focus on the exercises, Jen. I don't have time for this mindset stuff. I don't want to worry about the mindset stuff. But I know if I don't help you get a new mindset, you won't stick with the exercises. They won't have a long-term lasting change. If you think about anything you've tried to do that you haven't stuck with, my question always is, was there a part of that program that changed your mindset, that worked on your mindset? Hi, Roseanne. She said, I think when I give up, it's because of perfectionism. Yes. Okay. So that is 100%. There are two kind of categories of beliefs that impact and inform our actions with regard to our health and wellness. The first category is our beliefs about change and how change should happen and how change should look. The second category of beliefs is about us and who we are. Fundamentally, what thoughts do you believe about yourself, your worthiness, your body? What kind of messaging are you saying to yourself? Again, at a subconscious level. Perfectionism is a huge problem. And here's what happens for people is that if you're a perfectionist, you try really hard and you say, okay, I'm going to do this workout this many times a week. And maybe you go for a few weeks, but the second you fall off the wagon, the second life interferes and you don't get that, you start this really bad shame cycle. So it's really the second category about stuff you say about yourself, where you start to say, I can never do it right. I'm a failure. And it's all this really negative stuff about your core value and your core worth. The other side of perfectionism is that we say, I know I can't do it perfectly, so I'm not even going to try. That's the one that I tend to fall into myself. I am definitely a perfectionist, and I have to remind myself every day, all day, I'm not striving for perfection. But for me, if I don't think I can do it perfectly, I just won't take on that goal. I won't even start. I'll say, I don't have time to do that to the fullest to get it perfect, so I don't even want to try. And I'd encourage you, if you know you battle perfectionism, to think about what are the things that you're not even trying because you don't think you can do them perfectly. So one of the intentions, that's the best kind of, when we find these bad negative thoughts that are not helping us, when we find these core beliefs that are not serving us, we need to pull them out. Look at them. I call it like putting them in the light. So we say, all right, I see that this perfectionism isn't helping me. It isn't serving me, and it's limiting me from doing a lot of the things that I know I need to do for my health and wellness. When we look at that, then we need to say, what's something else that what belief can I replace that with? And the one that I like to go with perfectionism, because for me, It's a belief, the underlying root there is a belief that if I don't do it perfectly, then that's some kind of, then I'm going to fail, then it's going to be not worth it, then something really horrible is going to happen. So I like to counter that with, what would I do if I wasn't afraid of failure? What would I do if failure wasn't a problem? When I say not afraid of failure, I don't mean that you won't fail, but that failure isn't bad, that not doing it perfectly isn't the end of the world. When you look at that and you say, okay, like if I'm willing to make a few mistakes along the way, if I'm willing to say, hey, I'm going to give it the old college try. If you look at the top performers in every aspect of life, they're people who are comfortable with not getting it done perfectly. They're comfortable with failure. They're comfortable with mistakes. So the mantra of I'm comfortable with mistakes, I'm comfortable with failure. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody does it perfectly. Those kind of things. When you're saying that to yourself as you're going through the change process, it's so much more helpful and so much more, there's so much more potential for you to actually achieve great things if you get comfortable with little back steps, with little side steps along the way. So I want to just finish reading. I want to do everything at once and do it perfectly. I'm trying to remind myself if I exercise 3 times a week when I was previously doing so, 0 times, that's still progress. Yes. Another thing about wanting to do it all and do it perfectly. This is this week's. So in my coaching and challenge program, the way I handle working the mindset stuff in is every week I give them a mindset practice that is something related to the growth mindset, related to helping them shift to a perspective where they're going to actually put to use all the great stuff that I've given them, because I don't want you to just have a whole bunch of exercises that you do for a little while and then stop doing. I want you to change every aspect of your life through how you care for your body and how you care for yourself. And I want you to do that intentionally. So every week in my coaching and challenge program, when we're in the middle of a challenge, every week I give them a mindset practice. And this week's mindset practice is about the seasons and the times of the growth and the change process where we can't see the fruits of our labor yet. I gave them a quote from Cheryl Richardson, and I'm not going to get it exactly, but she says something along the lines of, gardening, like life, requires courage. You have to be brave enough to cut back the dead and the old to make space for the new growth and wait for it to come and trust that it's going to come. I'll find the quote and put the exact quote in the comments of this video. But what I said to them is, that's part of the change process where we're taking the steps, but we can't see the fruits of our labor yet. There is this messy middle part of change where we cannot see the results. And it is a huge drop-off point for a lot of people. This is another belief about change, that if it's working, if what I'm doing is working, I should have evidence. I should be able to see something tangible right now in front of me. If you hold that out in the light of day, you know that's not true. There's a huge part of the change process where we can't yet see. We have to trust. We're acting solely on trust and courage and bravery. Oh my gosh, so much bravery. But we subconsciously, we think we should be able to see it. And when we can't see it, we say, this isn't working. I'm going to stop and I'm going to course correct. So this might be a belief that you have. You might know you have this belief about needing evidence, subconsciously have this belief, if you constantly pivot on your goals. So you're going down a course and you feel like, I don't know if this is working. And then you pivot and you go somewhere else. If you look at your track record and you say, I pivot a lot, you probably have this core belief about needing to see evidence. So what you want to pull out is that core belief and say, all right, I won't always, there is a season. Here we are. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in the middle of winter. I live in Florida, so it's like Florida winter, but we all know the concept of the season of winter when it comes to growth, that there's a time in the change process, in the growth process, where everything that's happening is beneath the surface of our awareness. So what I gave as the intention to my coaching program people, you can replace this need for evidence, this need to see right away all the time that it's working, that what you're doing is working, with this calming statement of, I am making space for new growth and I trust that it is coming. I am making space for new growth and I trust that it is coming. How does that feel like? I feel like a big exhale after I say that, and I give myself permission to accept there's not something major going to be happening all the time in the change process. Step by step, baby step by baby step, and there's a season where where what's happening is beneath the surface of what we can see. There's no definite amount of how much time that season lasts, and that's why we say that it takes bravery and courage. You can manage your risk around that though. What you're doing, the change process, the journey that you're on, do you know people, like, do you have a good mentor who's guiding you through it? Have you seen other people who've done this? You know, it's a proven track record, kind of say, if you're out doing something that no one's ever done before and you're on an island, that's a lot scarier. But if you're doing something where someone else and other people who you know or who you've seen this work for other people, take a deep breath and give yourself permission to say, I'm making space for new growth and I trust that it's coming. And when you feel that pressure to pivot, like, I'm not sure this is working, I need to go and try something else, ask yourself, what's coming up for me? Like, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid that I'm on the wrong course. This is the fear. This is the core fear that's underneath that. I'm on the wrong course. I'm going to spend a whole bunch of time going down this path and it's going to lead to a dead end. So that's where you say, oh, wait a minute. You can talk to yourself and say, wait a minute. I have this well executed plan. I'm following these steps. This person who knows a lot is advising me. I can see the evidence of it in their life. Just pull out the fear, look at it and talk through it. This is where journaling can come in. When I give my coaching program people the mindset practice, the intention every week, I then give them reflection questions and journaling pages, because you have to kind of work through it, see what comes up for you. Like I said, some of this stuff is subconscious. So you know that it's your subconscious belief if you look at the pattern of your actions. So we can find our beliefs, our subconscious beliefs that are informing our actions by looking at the patterns that we see in our actions. So if you're a person who pivots, then you might have this. If I feel really frustrated when I can't do it perfectly, then you have the perfectionist. The other one, I wanted to give you one of the core beliefs that a lot of people have, that is about themselves and their worth, that negatively impacts not just our health and wellness and how we take care of ourselves, but we look at the things that are problematic in our body. And by that specifically, I mean pain, where we feel pain or discomfort. And we think negatively about our body because of that. Or we think that pain is a sign that we're broken. Pain, I'm pausing because this is really important. Do you believe that pain is a sign that something's broken? And if you do, I want to let you bring that out into the light and look at that for a second. So let's look at it first from an emotional standpoint, because I think you'll understand this from an emotional standpoint, and then we can look at it from a physical standpoint. And I was not planning to share this, but it's really a crystal clear example. Before my first daughter was born, I had a late term miscarriage with my first pregnancy. And I was sitting after just within probably a week of losing the baby, I was sitting with Judith Hansen-Lassiter, who is an amazing, amazing yoga teacher and a friend and wonderful mentor to me. And I was sitting to her and I was sitting with her and I said, it just hurts so badly. And she grabbed my hands and she said, it hurts so badly because you loved so deeply. Without the love, there wouldn't be the pain. And so that emotional pain, she shifted everything for me when she said that, because I realized I had the pain is a symbol. It's a a consequence. It flows from the love. If I didn't have the love, I wouldn't have felt the pain. And so pain was not something like, well, she helped me see that I couldn't have the love the pain was from the love and the loss of that dream that I had. And I realized in that moment that pain is not always a bad thing. And it's often a marker of something amazing. And it is absolutely true of physical pain too. People come to me all the time and they say, X hurts. How can I make it stop? And I want to help you make the pain stop. That's a huge part of my work, is helping you with the pain. But what you say to yourself about that pain is critical. Are you saying to yourself that this pain is a sign that my body is broken and something is wrong? The pain that we have physically, pain is this really complicated thing. And I have just started dipping my toe in the pain science research. And it's like blowing my mind that, pain is a psychological response. It's not an indication necessarily of something wrong. But when we feel pain in the body, what if instead of it being a sign that your body is broken, it's a sign that everything's working exactly as it should, and your body's letting you know about something you need to pay attention to? Right? So pain is not a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that everything is working exactly. Lou Mangello, no pain, no gain, or Doritos. Yes, Lou Mangello. But seriously, if you think of your pain as an invitation instead of as a sign that you're broken, feel how that shifts you. Feel how that makes you think differently about your body. Yes, Lou said pain is all a part of growth. It is. And it's a sign that you're on the right track. It's a sign that when it's physical pain, we say, okay, my back is bothering me. Instead of saying to yourself, my back is bothering me, so my body is broken. Darn this body that isn't supporting me. What if instead we say, oh, my back is hurting. I must need to pay attention to something. Love you too, Deanna. What if we instead say, something's hurting. I need to pay attention to this. I'm going to move toward this. This is an invitation for me to take care of myself. Because have you ever heard the expression that first we get a signal, first we get a lesson, and then if we don't listen to the lesson, then we get a warning. If we don't listen to the warning, then we get a full-on crisis. And it's the same with our body. We get little signals that are like, hey, pay attention to me. And I work with people every day who come to me because of the crisis, who say, I can't walk anymore. My back is hurt. I'm in bed for 3 weeks at a time when my back goes out, or worse stuff. Like it's really, our bodies can have a huge, if we ignore all of the needs that our body has for a long time, then the body just says, all right, you're not giving me what I need. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to back off and I'm not going to be able to support you. But even that is your body drawing you into something that you need to do. There's this expression that people change because of two things. They change because of information, or they change because of crisis. People change because of information, or they change because of crisis. If I'm going to work with you, you're in one of those two places. You're either wanting more information and you're saying, okay, I'm choosing the information path. I believe that I'm a spiritual person, so I believe that God is drawing us toward a better version of ourselves constantly. And we either get there through information or we get there through crisis. And I don't want you to have the crisis. I want you to choose intentionally to take time for yourself. Because one of the other core beliefs that we all have is that we're just too busy to take care of ourselves. You know someone who said this for a long time, and then life just said, oh, right, I'm going to make it your number one priority right now. I know so many people, I work with so many people who get to that point, who were busy, and then all of a sudden something serious happened and they had to change. And that's a route that you could go, but I'm telling you, there's so much less pain if you intentionally say, I absolutely believe that I have to take care of myself. I say to people that everything is harder in life when you don't feel good physically, mentally, and emotionally. And everything is easier in life when you feel great mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I know your schedule's busy. Listen, I have 3 kids. I homeschool. I have my own business. I work full time. I know what it's like to be busy. Trust me. I know those of you who know me personally, you can attest to the fact that I am a busy person, but I prioritize self-care because I can do everything that's on my plate better when I make that self-care a priority. So, friends, here's what I want to do. I have just recently decided to make a change to how I do my coaching and challenge program. I have been keeping the enrollment for this program open constantly, and I'm going to make a shift on that. I'm doing some really fun behind the scenes stuff to change the program, to change how you access the content in the program and make use of what we know about what all the research is showing about what makes people learn online and how people engage online with content. I'm bringing all the latest stuff to the program. And as I make those changes, I'm going to close registration for the program. So it's not going to be open to the public after. I'm going to close it down this Saturday for a little while, potentially a month or more. And I would love for you to join now at current rates, rather than wait until it's the best, most amazing program and the prices of the program reflect that. You could join now and lock in the current rate, but also join now before it closes for a little while. We have a little over a month left in our winter challenge. This week in the challenge, we're focusing on lower body stuff. Then we're going to have a week where we focus on middle body, core, back, hips. Then we're going to do upper body, arms, neck, head, and shoulders. Then we're going to do gait and our walking cycle. And then we're going to do a week of relaxation. All of that is coming up and will happen regardless of whether the program is open for registration or not. So I want you to get in so that you can experience and enjoy that with us. So I am also reducing. I put a sale price for the monthly membership. It's instead of $74 a month, it's $49 a month, $25 off the price. Let me put up a Lou Mangello. I'm gonna make you do the exercises with us, Lou Mangello. So you can join for $49 at healthymoving.com/coaching through this Saturday only. And then it's going to be closed down. The registration is going to be closed down while the program is actively running, but new people won't be able to come into the program for about a month, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how long we take to get everything done. So I would love to have you join. Head to healthymoving.com/coaching. We'll work on, Deanna's giving her husband a hard time. We're going to work on mindset and exercise stuff to help you really start 2018 feeling amazing in and about your body. I would so love to work with you. All right, friends, I am going to close it down for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have goals that you're working on that you aren't sure what your mindset hang-ups are around it, talk through what your pattern is if you're willing in the comments, or you can send me an email, jen@healthymoving.com. I'm going to do a series of videos over the next few weeks and months on some of our biggest mindset hangups. And if you want me to tackle something that you can't figure out, what is my mental block that I'm having that's creating this pattern, then send me an email or put it in the comments on this video, and I will make sure to include, I would love to say one-on-one, like I take one person's pattern and I help uncover the block, because whatever your blocks are, I guarantee you're not alone. We all have the same similar blocks that are keeping us stuck. I want to help us all grow and flourish and have just an amazing year. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.